What's up, guys? This is Nick with Imagination Fabrication. We are going to show you guys how to properly set up a torch so you'll be cutting like a pro in no time. We're going to make sure you don't burn the hoses. We're going to make sure you don't leak all the gas out of the tanks. We're going to show you how to use the valves. We're going to show you how to set up the flame. Stay tuned, watch how we do it, and you'll be cutting like a pro in no time.
You need about, this is how much is in the tank, this is how much it's flowing. Normally you need about 50-ish. So you want to use cutting torch.
Is there a specific setting you want the oxy at?
This is acetylene. This is oxygen.
So what is this?
This one's how much is in the tank. This is how much is going to flow out of the tank.
Okay.
So you're only talking about 15 psi or so, which is a lot for a high flow, but you need a lot of high flow for the rosebud. So the biggest thing with these torches is you want to make sure there's no leaks in this hose, because it gets expensive to have a leak in this hose because it drains those tanks. Also, you always want to make sure these valves are off until you're using it. So you got to switch to the oxygen to the cutting tip, right? This is the rosebud. This is for heating. That, sir, is a welding tip. This, sir, yes, this is a cutting tip. Put the cutting tip on. The other thing is, you want to make sure when you're cutting on a table or cutting whatever, you're not cutting over your hoses.
Right.
These hoses are flammable and they will burn. So you want to make sure you are not burning the hoses.
Okay.
That's very important. You don't want to drop anything on the hoses. You don't want to cut over the hoses. You want to protect your hoses. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now you got 3 valves. This is your fuel. Red is fuel. Green is oxygen. What is this?
That adjusts the flame.
It does, but what does it adjust? The oxygen or the fuel?
Oxygen.
This adjusts the oxygen, correct.
So you guys don't mess with this one, right? You leave this one on.
So typically when you have this set up, yes, this one is wide open.
Okay.
But until you get ready to use it, you want everything off.
Okay.
So, but we're fixing to use it, so let's cut it on pretty much wide open. You're going to crack the fuel, the acetylene. No, those tanks are already on, sir. I'm talking about crack it right here.
Right here, okay.
Crack it right here. Need some more. Alright, you want to get this thing, it's flowing like this. You want to set it so that you see how that flame's jumped off the tip?
Yeah.
That's too much. Back it down a little bit. The flame is touching the tip, correct?
Yep.
Then we're going to add oxygen. Until you see those feathers right there, you want to bring those feathers in. That's a good flame right there. Then you're going to hit this valve right here. But now you got the feathers back. So you got to hit the valve and bring it back even further. That's where you want it. That's where you're ready to cut right there. Then to cut, you get it molten metal. Then you ease onto this and it'll start cutting.
Yeah.
To turn it off, you turn the fuel off right here. Turn the fuel off. Then turn the oxygen, then I turn everything off. Then every time you set this damn thing down, because these boys forget, you need to turn these valves off.
sir.
Because they'll forget this torch leaks a little bit, these hoses leak a little bit, and they'll forget these tanks are on, and they'll leak out. And it's a lot of money for 2 tanks to be on.
Well, that and lighting something right close to it if there's a gas leak is never a good idea.
So the other thing is you need to keep the tip clean.
Yeah, don't touch, right? Like
don't put the tip into the metal. Keep the tip clean. If anything is plugging these holes, it will not cut right. If you get anything other than that flame I just showed you, it's not going to cut right.
Right.
So if it stops cutting right, you need to use the tip cleaners. Clean the tips out with these cleaners right here.
Yes, sir.
You think you can do that?
Yes, sir.
So there's a trick to it a little bit. When you're cutting, you want to cut only the metal that you want to cut. You don't want to gouge into the base metal, right?
Right.
So be sure that you got it aimed. Maybe you're easing onto the oxygen just a little bit. You're easing onto the oxygen so you're not cutting too deep. If you're cutting through something like thick, you want the oxygen wide open.
Right.
And pushed all the way. But if you're trying to wash something away, you're just kind of easing along with this oxygen, barely touching it. And blowing it out a little bit.
Right. Okay.
That's your torch lesson for today, sir.
Okay guys, that's your torch lesson for today. If you guys got any more issues past that, something's not working right, something's leaking, it's not cutting right, let me know and I will get to you and address it and we'll get it worked out. But these are the basics of getting that torch started and not leaking all your gas out, keeping everything clean, and making sure you're cutting correctly.